From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history, you're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
On expectations to go to the playoff? Isn't that the whole idea of what Kalani's talking about?
Yes.
Because if he was talking about just having a repeat of last season or even the season before, then why bring up all this stuff that's caused so much conflict? And I'm talking to people about it yesterday and what they're doing with Santiago and what he has jurisdiction over, and is Kalani going to report to the VP? And if last season is the bar, well, then they have enough resources to reach that bar.
George Scotty, the coach, today from 10 to 2 at Tim Dolly Mazda in Sandy, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. Your logic there, PK. If that's the bar, they reach the bar. Yeah. I get it, but do you think the bar is going to move? And maybe you could argue Kalani's moving the bar internally, that was good enough for last year, but it's not good enough for next year. Or one of his bosses would move the bar.
And I said that on Tuesday and Monday because I was off a few days last week when I got back into town, started making some calls and stuff. And I learned Monday that they was going to report to the VP. And then they decided to announce it yesterday. I never saw any announcement, but that's what I heard. I don't know how it got out, whatever. But they had already obviously decided that because I said that on Tuesday. I think there's tension between Brian and Kalani. I mean, I like both guys, and I wish both of them all the success in the world. It's something that they're going to have to get by. I don't know that this is going to fix anything. The thing that happened a couple weeks ago is, according to people I spoke to, which is numerous, and it's people who've been at BYU, employed for BYU a long time. So anybody who's listening out there who thinks they know, it's not somebody who's just been employed the last year or two. So I want to make that abundantly clear. So stop sending me stuff about an individual. It's others that have been around for a while. And that Kalani was told that Brian was going to be terminated. And then he told somebody, and then a word got out, and that's how it got on the message board. And then the communications guy, late on a Saturday night, was it? Put out that statement. So Kalani was expecting that there would be a change of leadership, not a restructure of leadership. So does a restructure satisfy him? I don't know. Maybe it does. Obviously, I was ruined my round of golf yesterday as I was having to be on the phone. And
play about 13 and a half holes?
I went through them, but played poorly. And then at around hole 15, I figured, I got the messages that I need, the information that I need, and I parred the last four.
Locked
I was
in.
like 16 over. Yeah. I'm usually not that bad. But, some people are saying, well, I don't think this is going to make a difference. There's the thing there, basketball is being favored. I mean, you believe it or not, it doesn't really matter to me. And, I cites examples of Kalani asking for something and he didn't get it. And then Kevin Young asking for a raise for an assistant coach who got it. And
there you go.
The football people want to see the money of what the breakdowns, the financials, I guess you would call it, of the basketball. And that's the friction. Does this solve it? I hope for their sakes it does. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't say that, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. I don't know. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Somebody did tell me yesterday, I said, you think this solves it?
No.
I doubt it. And I also said earlier in the week that at least one school has put out a feeler. If things don't go the way we want, do you think your guy would be interested? That starts earlier and earlier. So some team that's supposed to be a title contender starts 3-2. Well, then that's gonna.
It's the Penn State scenario.
Yeah, and that's becoming more common. Used to be if a college coach was fired during the season, it was unheard of.
Number one, you weren't fired during the season, and number two, if you were, it was 2 games left, so they could start the search.
Mm-hmm.
But
or maybe
now,
a coach announces he's going to retire.
If he's
or
at the end
step
of career,
aside.
or step aside, yeah.
Yeah.
But now we have UCLA and Penn State pulling ripcord on their coaches way early in the season.
Yeah, I think down at Westwood it was week 3, something like
Yeah.
that. We didn't even get out of September, if I
Right.
remember. And James Franklin was
October.
Yeah, and for a coach of his stature, the level of success, that was surprising. But I mean, it's big money now, so why shouldn't it act like the pros? The coaches have been getting big money for a good long while, and now big money is being received by a lot of different people. So I don't necessarily have a problem if you're going to act like the pros. If you're going to pay like the pros, okay. Yeah, I mean, these buyouts that these coaches get, just
massive, unreal.
Generational, life-changing money. So maybe they should. So we'll see how that happens. I can't say this is going to solve everything. I hope it does. I hope Brian has a long tenured success at BYU. I like the guy. I've known him since he's in his 20s. When he had a little desk in Steve Cleveland's office at the Marriott Center. They don't even have those anymore. They don't have their offices in the Marriott Center.
They do not.
Yeah.
They built the annex in what used to be a service road.
Yeah. Right. I've been in Dave Rose's office in there. I haven't been in Kevin Young's. I assume it's the same. I don't know Kevin to the level that I knew Dave. I knew Dave back when he was a junior college coach at Dixie. So away we go. And I think Kalani's going to have to achieve what he wants to achieve. I wonder.
By asking for more resources, he sets the bar higher.
Yeah, he himself sets it.
Right. And he might argue, well, the bar is going to get set higher anyway. Coaches are always supposed to be making the program better. Now, we do have this weird deal where as the NIL comes out, it's like, well, you can make it better, but if you're not getting anywhere near Texas Tech, as we were talking earlier about the NIL money, if you keep chasing it, even as you move the bar up, they move the bar up, so you're still 50% behind them. I wouldn't think the bar gets set at catching Texas Tech, but maybe it does. It doesn't seem, it seems pretty clear now that these two, whatever they got going, are they really going to work it out? And this setup, well, in the short run, we see unusual setups in college sports. Usually it settles back into something more traditional. So whatever they're doing here, it could work for a while, but if they don't work it out and it sets back into something traditional, then I expect one or both guys ends up moving on. This kind of setup doesn't last. It's not the way it's usually organized.
Maybe. I can't say that. I can't disagree with it, nor can I agree with it. I can just go back to I don't know. I asked somebody on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So I got the thing on Monday, came in Tuesday, said it Tuesday morning. We just played it. And then Tuesday I asked someone, when is this going to happen? And when is it going to be official in the public? And he said, well, I don't know. But I did see the two of them talking at practice today. And then I'm out golfing yesterday, and then I get a message from the same person. Oh, you knew more about BYU than I do, because I had asked them on Monday. And then this person says, well, that he's been employed for a while there. Again, not in the last year or two. And he said Kalani has been, quote, pissed all summer. Usually he just is for a little bit because he's a bright side kind of guy, happy guy. Mm-hmm. He said, I have not seen him like this in the multi-years that I have worked there. So Take that for what it's worth. Believe it, don't believe it. It doesn't matter to me. So I can't say. I don't know. Is to what level? My own personal, this is my personal _personal. Don't go out and tweet it. Fortunately, El Capitan's not going to do that. And that's another issue. He didn't know what I'm talking about, but DJ does. I think it's going to get worked out.
So it can get worked out.
But that's my own personal opinion.
Right.
No one's told me that.
But that is a story. So they work it out. They're far from the first coach and AD to, get into it over
Chris Hill
over resources.
and Kyle Whittingham got into it.
Right?
Yeah, and Mark Harlan and Kyle Whittingham aren't the best of buddies now.
Right. So they figured out.
So it's actually more normal than it is abnormal.
Right. So there's a scenario where they figured out and they go back to a more traditional setup.
I don't think they need the traditional setup.
So they don't have to interact?
Well, they were already interacting. I had someone, an eyewitness, telling me that they were talking at practice on Tuesday, and I had said it Tuesday morning. We just played it where I'm saying he's going to report to the VP. So, yeah, if your ego wants to get in the way and I'm the AD and I have full authority, well, then you're probably going to have to go someplace else. But if you think, let's just work this out, man. They're never going to be best of buddies. But it's not necessarily a job in which you're supposed to be best of buddies.
And yeah, it's not.
Right.
It's not.
They're not really supposed to be friends.
It's a job where you're supposed to be able to work together enough to win really big and make the boosters happy, make the school look good.
Ray Anderson, the athletic director who's now gone at ASU, used to be an NFL agent. And one of his clients was Herm Edwards. So he gets the AD job, he hires his buddy. How'd that work out?
Briefly, good. And then, for quite a period of time, not well at all.
Literally the worst 3-year period in school history in terms of the football record. And
then they moved on.
Yeah. So do you really want them to be bosom buddies, chummies? I don't necessarily think that matters. Who cares? I want them to have a working relationship and pointing in the same direction. I want them we want what's best for the football program. And then when Brian deals with the basketball program, he wants what's best for the basketball program and the cross-country program and so on. That's the job. It's not to be socializing.
Pals.
Yeah. And it's inherent in conflict. Kyle Whittingham's the winningest football coach in BYU Utah history. He had conflict
with both ADs.
Yes.
He only worked for two ADs in that long stretch, which is unusual. But he had conflict with both of them.
Yeah. Yes. And my gosh, I'm not even telling you all the crap he told me. Yeah. And we'll just leave it at that because it's dead now. It doesn't matter. Just using it as an example. So do they have to be besties? And look what happened to the besties. We thought they were going to work forever, and boom.
Don't know if people even know what you're talking about at this point. That might have been too much code. Do you know what he's talking about, the besties? No, see, he doesn't know.
Well, sometimes you got to entertain yourself.
Okay.
And I entertained you.
You did.
There's conflict all the time. We have conflict.
Fact.
But you got to work through it. What's best for the show?
What is the goal?
Yeah.
To get another contract?
Right, and keep this thing going. And then you cool off for 5 minutes and you realize, okay, let's move on, man.
And you do wonder if them standing out there on a Tuesday or in their own time when they go back and talk to whoever they talk to, mentors, spouses, whoever. It's kind of like, well, you realize if football wins big at most schools, then usually the AD gets another contract and the coach gets another contract.
So that's why I have optimism that it can be worked out.
Or they get offers. They get offers from schools with more money.
And on the flip side is it doesn't work out and one or both leave. Okay. That could happen too. So you got one or both leaving.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, on the positive, you got it's working out. They're rolling out double-digit win seasons 4 out of 5 years, and away you go. Okay, I can see that too. And I hope they come to some kind of – they only need to have a working agreement. It's all that matters.
Yeah.
They don't need a personal agreement.
Well, if you've moved around at different jobs, and Alex is new to this, so maybe he hasn't, but you and I have, it's like there are people you remember fondly and you worked well with, but you're not necessarily that tight with them or in communication with them once one or both of you move on from whatever job. So
the day I walk out of here is the last time I talk to you.
That's not likely. Well, we might go a while without talking, but stuff will happen in games, and I know I'll get a text.
No.
You try out whatever sarcastic, crazy line and see if you can get some emoji or gift back from me. I don't even necessarily send you words. I just send you some pop
The day I
culture
retire,
GIF.
I will never watch another game.
Oh, bull.
You call him bull? See, right now, we're having conflict.
You'll be right back at it. Can't stop yourself.
Probably, most likely.
You might watch fewer games. I believe that.
I
You will prioritize golf over watching some games.
The fall will be very much the same on Saturday and Sunday. Winter nights.
Sports fan in America. Huh, who knew?
May not be 75 to 80 Jazz games. Although playoffs
should be locked in.
I would think so.
I would put it at around 50 to 60.
In regular season?
Yeah. But the games that'll go away, I mean, I can already predict, knowing your life, the games that'll go away is you'll watch fewer East Coast road games. If you're here, you're going to go to dinner with friends. And whereas now you're trying to prioritize and you're like, hey, let's not go to dinner Wednesday because the Jazz play schedule with somebody on Thursday.
That's a fact.
And you do that now.
Yeah.
Well, once you're retired, you won't do that.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you're not going to be at dinner with somebody at 8 o'clock on the average winter night. So even if you come to a game late, you're going to flip it on.
Well,
in the middle
yeah,
of the
when you're
second quarter.
retired, I mean, dinner's 4:30.
Early bird special.
Isn't that the stereotype?
Yeah. But it turns out now everybody's saying that's what we were supposed to be doing all along, and that's part of our weight gain is we're sitting here eating dinner at 7 or 8 o'clock.
Don't eat at past 6.
Yeah, you're eating too late.
Right.
Don't do it. But we do it because we're busy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. You're running
So it's
around.
good for your health. You eat, you're done eating by like 5:30 or 6. So that means you're starting at 4:30
Stay out of
to
the
5.
kitchen.
Yeah, and that's hard. When I'm home, I just wander into the kitchen and start grabbing something to eat. Wrong answer.
Well, sure, everything is hard that way. Yeah, I mean, it's all about willpower, and some days you have it, but the thing is, if you don't have it that particular day, don't beat yourself up and just get back at it the next day.
There you go. All right, so that's it with these two guys then.
Yeah, hey,
I wonder if this format stays, and there's plenty of people we can go into the comments here. And there's plenty. They're getting ready to fire the AD. They're getting ready. If the format stays like this, do you find it satisfying and do you move on? I think they both have their backers. I don't think this has just happened just because it's the two of them.
Oh, for sure.
There's a huge organization around them and above them, and so the desire to put more money in football, they must have boss. There must be some bosses in the food chain who think that's a really good idea, but the desire to not, I suspect there's some bosses who think that's it. So do you find it satisfying working in an environment? I think we've all, once you work for a while, you work someplace where you're looking at like, and most of us have multiple bosses. I mean, we can count like 4, here, and other places we work, we can count multiple ones. Like, I really like working for that one. This one, ho-hum, and then this one over here. Oh, good grief. When do they take a job?
That.
There was once a news director, and this is going back 20 years, maybe 25 years. The assistant news director had a pool on the back of their door about when the news director would leave. You know how like they'll do a pool and predict what day, a woman's going to give birth. And when will the baby be born, right? And, well, they're predicting what day the news director would go away. And then the news director walked in, closed the door, and saw it. Hilarious.
I think on a personal note for me, I'm glad that Brian still has an opportunity to show he can do the job.
Do they get to the point where BYU has enough money that they can fund both programs at a higher level? Because you're never going to you're never going to catch the biggest spenders in the sport. I mean, they are way out there, and they're accelerating. So they're going to have enough where every year there's an upgrade. To go back to Chris Hill, who had conflict with not just football coaches, he had conflict with other coaches too. I remember one time they were adding women's soccer in the 90s. And so then there were Title IX issues, and they needed to do it. And they came up with a plan where every year it got better. You add the team, you're going to add a little support staff the next year, you're going to work on the stadium the next year, and then the fourth year the stadium gets lights. And they had a whole, and he laid it out. He did one of his annual things where he's talking to people, and he laid out, like, this is the plan for the next 3 to 5 years, and this is how we're going to upgrade every single year. And if you feel like you're getting upgrades every year, you feel like you're valued, you never really catch up with, enormous state university down the road who's got $1 gazillion, but you always feel like you're getting a better chance to get it done. And I suspect Kalani isn't feeling that. Now, he probably also thought after Penn State he'd take a big, a quantum leap forward, and he's not feeling that. And it's worse if you see somebody else across the street taking a step forward.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball's taking a step forward. How come football's not?
Right.
Now,
Right.
if the fundraising accelerates to a point, do they get to the point where they both programs have plans where you're getting X, Y, Z or whatever, we're laying it out, here's where you're going in the next year, 2, 3. Here's how we're pumping up NIL, here's how we're growing your staff. Because Kalani did seem satisfied going back to another chapter of this. There's a pretty decent chance he had conflict with Tom Homo at some point. He wanted something, and Homo either wouldn't or maybe couldn't give it to him.
Oh, I know he did.
Right. And then
they got so sick of the love showering on Mark Pope.
Yeah. But then they had the press conference where this is unprecedented, right? They came up with a new plan. They were able to fund it. And
that's why they televised in the locker room after the game that they were extending him.
Yeah.
It's a happy story, as they should.
All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Pablo Mastroeni at the top of the hour, Kevin Graham at 9 o'clock. Stay with us.